Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda, hero of Psych, defender of the fatherland of Hitler 1v1 on Mill Road. In the north, it is Zappa. Fighting here for the British Army, the Commonwealth, here with the 7th Armoured Division, the Desert Rats, here with special weapons, Vanguard, and Mobile Assault in the south, it is Stephenn. Yeah, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 9th Panzer Division with Spearhead, Mechanized, and Lightning War versus, again, the aforementioned Mobile Assault, Vanguard, and Special Weapons. Gun MG42 versus Double Section. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my own company here is my Patreon supporters. One for people on all. Other people can join the ranks by Patreon and Patreon, or they can donate via PayPal. Support the Propagandacast and the war for that way. Or if you're going to pre-order Company's Fee, you can do so via the link in the comment section using the code STUG3G. All caps, in which case I get a cut of the sale, about 15%. And finally, comment, like, share, subscribe, feed the YouTube algorithms. Algorithms for the algorithm throne. No, Basil, don't attack my hand. No, ow, you stupid cat. Anyways, triple section here. Zappa leads in heart there for the British Army. Ow, you stupid fairy bastard. Jesus, like, he's got some real upper body strength because he's just... Ow! Basil, no. Hang on. Okay, managed to, like, snag the headset cable, like, his back foot. On top of everything is, like, he just jumped away, he'd fucking flung them off me. And he's done that before. Anyway, second is going over for Stephenn. So far, no clashes there. Otherwise, between him and Zappa... Got the Western Fuel Punch code with the MG42. Universe Colonel here for Zappa. It was also known as the Bren carrier because of the Bren gun that he typically mounted in it. It was what they called the Incarnate one, but the real name was Universal Carrier. Yes, Basil. Universal Carrier. Good cat. When you're not savagely attacking me. So far, they're very quiet here. Neither player looking to clash out. Obviously, in the case of the Wehrmacht player, you're typically not looking to run into the Brits, because, unless, like, flank them, because they can really beat you up with the sections and heavy cover. And, of course, at the same time, Zappa is not probably feeling a particularly great desire to run into a German MG42. I mean, most people tend not to. Northeast section rolling up there, just very consistent sandbagging here from Zappa on most points. Looking to cut off most points of entry, but there you go. Stephenn's heading hard north here. Nebraska rolling forwards here for the British Empire. Tech also on over for Zappa. That will be a Vickers K here as soon as he gets the munitions. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. Going for the Vickers K that's mounting the Universal Carrier. Third gun is got there for Stephenn. Hopefully he goes for a fourth one. Or if Stephenn has other plans here, other schemes versus Zappa. When he's taking man lost, there's Ludwig drops dead. MD4 to the blazing at the section here. Pioneers trying to get the job done there with the MP40s up close. Ripping through the section, but not quite managing it. Section flanking around here. Stephenn not looking great here. Grenades also in trouble. The MD4 sitting up here. Does Zappa have grenades? No, that's a small blessing here for Stephenn. Section that keeps running around in front of the several machine gun for, again, like roughly a second. But because the MG42 has a back where its tracking doesn't work properly, they can actually do that and not get punished. That's probably one thing I also won't be missing in company, see? Anyways, catching all of the Grenadiers here in a pretty bad spot here. Zappa leads the assault for the British Empire. His men fighting onwards. Stiff upper lip and all that. In the far south, we got into the section here, and we got Zappa as Zappa commits mobile assault with mortar teams, Royal Engineer Recovery Squads, Infiltration Commandos, Vehicle Crew Pairs, and of course the Land Mass. Grenadiers are overwhelmed here by the section up close. The heavy cover bonus the section, of course, gets are very potent. That means in any one-on-one engagement like that, the section pretty much wins hard. Tech on over for Stephenn. Bunker up as well there for Stephenn. Ground northern point here. Universe coming about here. Got that Vickers K mounted in the back. Universe K served a number of roles in the British Army. Weapons carrier, infantry transport, reconnaissance vehicle, tractor. Stuff like that, actually. Even the Soviets used them for reconnaissance units, and were apparently fairly fond of them. So, little fun fact there. Germans kept it a bunch too, but even Mount Pack 36 is in the back of some of them, so... It was a really, shows a platform they got to see a lot of usage. Barbed wire here, again, note the way he's doing it is to prevent Stephenn from laying down sandbags along this axis without having to do a lot of work there on top of that. And of course this works on the assumption then the average player is in fact super lazy and so won't be asked to cut the wire. Armored car on the way there for Zappa, because in the end a lot of players are exactly just that lazy. Oberleutnant, we just need to cut about. Nah, don't do it. It takes too much time. It's like a few seconds, Oberleutnant. I can't be asked to order it. My God, no wonder we're losing this one. What was that? Nothing. Armored car on the way to the Zappa, almost done. Oh, he actually managed to rip a hole in me, the little shitty cat. I mean, lovely, wonderful furry angel. Gonna use McNorford's here for Stephenn. We got some light ships of the Grenadiers. Heading southwards with the Pioneer. Back here for Stephenn. Nothing further is quite transpiring. We have the light to make a nice come up. Could be a half track, could be a 2-2 most likely. Pack 40s. We shall of course see what the mind of Stephenn is hatching here against Zappa and the British Empire. Pioneers right in the south here. Grenadiers in the section there, but again, no cover. Rifle Grenade, of course, helps out. MG42 team also helps out a bit. They're going to use the trouble. Could actually get a wipe here with a bit of luck there for Zappa. AC Mark 3 firing there with 700 cannon. Almost got the Grenadiers there. Close call for Stephenn, who is going for the Pack 40. Deep Panzer of their Kanone 40. MG42 ripping into the investigator. They're pushing it back here. Armored car section pushing forwards. Medics on the way there for Zappa and the British Empire. The AC, though, is on the front here. And, of course, Stephenn lacking any anti-tank weapons. Really has no way of stopping the armored car until that Pack 40 arrives. Back at base, reinforcement healing. Pack 40 almost there for Deutschland. Armored car flying with the Grenadier. Back at base here, troop reinforcing. Medics, of course, medicing about in theory. There we go. Of course, have to see what Zappa goes for next. No mortars, though. It would appear, though, will stay as I usually like to say. On a 1v1 map, especially the smaller ones like Bill Road, mortars typically tend to be a good investment. There you go. Sim, of course, showing that true Australian grit, and actually cuts the barbed wire, showing that he truly is a bit above the average player there. Phenomenal work there. Really, it is. The average player would never ask, to cut the wires, though. Sim, of course, they're showing that he's a bit, a cut above the rest. Vic is on the way with Stephenn. Pack 40 gets rid of the AC Mark III. No tech yet for Stephenn or anything else besides that Pack 40. Vic is almost done there for Zappa. Of course, it's likely Zappa may be planning a mortar emplacement rather than the mortar team. Section are routed. Person that I do prefer just regular mortars. It's actually one reason why I don't like playing the Oberkommandowers too much, because they don't have access to mortars. It's just something very handy about a mortar to me. So anyways, no tech yet there for Mr. Stephenn. Light vehicles, Panzer Grenadier, you have it. Or a mortar. Sandbags here, setting up to defend this point ahead of time. Good foresight there. Meanwhile, Zappa bringing in the assault officer, ready to clean out those dastardly Huns at close quarters. With the Sten guns. Heading northwards here with the two sections. No further upgrades by here for Zappa's men. No bolsters, no grenades, no weapon racks, no Bren guns. At least nothing as of yet here. Pack 40 shoots, misses the universal carrier. But good shift here, also going for the fuel point there by Zappa. Stephenn, of course, putting most of his men to the south, so by quick shifting northwards here, he can catch Stephenn here wrong-footed and maybe gain some pretty good terrain here. There, go rifle grenade off here, but Zappa is quick to dodge here. Staying clear of the Grenadiers.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one.
South here, Pioneers filling up. Grenadiers going for a deeper flank here. Sneaky Stephenn. And nothing further for Stephenn. A bit of resource float here, and there we go. A sniper to bleed out the British. The Inselaffen. And on the center here, we got the assault officer clashing with the Bosch. Here, as Stephenn's going to need MD42 tank to the officer. Artillery called in, specifically regular artillery. I was kind of expecting maybe smoke here, but obviously regular artillery can do the job just as well. Set after they're suppressed, though. South here, we got Zappa with a counter against Stephenn's Southern forces here. 7th Panzer Grenadier Company. Machine gun wiped out here by British artillery. That's a really good strike there for Zappa, and, conversely, a really bad strike for Stephenn. But we got the sniper out here, the Scharfschütze. No sign of tech or anything else here from Stephenn. Nor a commander. So now they're caught with the section round. Machine gun there claimed here by Zappa and the British Empire. 6-pounder gun here, of course, expecting any kind of German armor soon. In the near future, because Stephenn hasn't gone for like any light vehicles, thus it's not typically too wrong to assume that your opponent might be planning to push out for like medium armor here. Of course, he already has the AC out there, so I think a 6-pounder gun with that could be a really potent combo to slap down like any German armor there from Stephenn pretty fast. Officer moving about here so far, no direct kills. Still nothing there for Stephenn. Seems to be perhaps a bit of hesitation here in the face of the British onslaught. And he's moving up here, flanking the officer. There we go. Down to just 2 men, the rest hightailed. Here's the car punch, but really strong situation right now for Zappa. I mean, he's got both fuel points, most of the victory points, just a good chunk of the map. This is definitely a dangerous situation for Stephenn, but there goes fine taking up there. He will need some Panzerwaffe soon here to take the fight to those British bastards. Meanwhile, Baker's occurring in the centre here. Actually, that's the MG42. Never mind me. So he actually has 2 machine guns on the top of other things here against Stephenn. That's definitely a pretty rough spot to be in for the Germans. The South gun is being forwarded there. Take roughly 1/3 of the way done here for Deutschland. 7 kills between the vessel carrier. Still nothing there though for Zappa's infantry in terms of upgrades. Like, he's just basically relying on support weapons and light vehicles, then do most of the heavy carrying there rather than focusing on upgrading his troops, which is and also the officer, I guess, but that's definitely a bit of an interesting thing because most British players pretty much like always, upgrade them in some way. Grenades, bolters more typical, or weapon racks. But Zappa so far is just kind of going, nah. That setup here might just cost them. There goes section wiped out here by Stephenn's Grenadiers. Could even lose the armoured car here. 2 kills like that for Stephenn would be a significant boon here for the German army. There go 9th Panzer Division secures a few decisive blows here to the 7th Armoured Division, the Desert Rats. Suddenly found themselves in front of the cat. Need to treat that Grenadier squad soon though, I think. Can build the support corps here and actually push for like something decently armoured here soon. Meanwhile, as for Zappa, he could also be taking up her action. Surprisingly, has not set, on himself on the path towards the company command post yet. We do get some bolters now. Interestingly late. Car pointed again, this time with the Vickers. Haven't seen any commanders though. There goes the Palmer Corps for Stephenn and another machine and give our team. He's flanking up against a section. There we go. Back here, troops reinforcing, healing. Got the Universal Care, of course, in dire need of some repairs. Has seen much better days. There goes the Palmer Cup. A machine gun done. Still no commander there for Stephenn. Pioneer Commandant. Zappa not taking up either. Definitely beneficial here for Stephenn that if Zappa takes longer in taking up there. Aggressive flank with a sniper. Finally, compels Zappa to pull back from there for now, but really going to have to do some work here to get back into this fight. But again, getting the weapon, the armored car definitely gives him some room to work with. But there you go. Zappa finally taking up there. Units getting bolstered, reinforced, healed. Meanwhile, Stephenn is just moving ahead here, rapidly advancing for Deutschland. Can also soon go for a Panther 4, which I imagine is going to be his priority target here for now. He was still under attack from the armoured car, some other armour here from Zappa. I mean, of course, the Stuke being rushed out first would probably, I think, a very solid choice. But for now, I think a Panther 4, is pretty good. Helps with the infantry, the light vehicles, and also, does decently versus armour. So, not a bad pick here. Of course, it does need to make the pick. There's still no commander either for Stephenn. He remains a bit not forthcoming on that one. Victory points wise, Zappa by has a massive lead. 496 there versus 268. That is quite a gap here that Stephenn somehow needs to close. Sniper gets a good kill. Note the machine carrying the sniper. Officer racing forward. See, actually, the officer himself got killed by the sniper. Panther 4 there for Stephenn. And we finally get a command here. It is Spearhead with mortar half-tracks, Pansec Tactician, Recon Zoflight, Fragmentation Bombs, and the Tiger Tank. Of course, as the British, mortar half-tracks do tend to be popular as a way to counter any potential mortar emplacements. But overall does have a variety of fairly handy abilities. Smoke, of course, being quite useful. Fragmentation Bombs always handy, and of course the Tiger Tank, typically doesn't hurt in some situations. Of course, you should be careful about just blindly going for it. There we go. Zappa now has got pretty much everything and just pick there. We'll have to go for the land matches, though I would imagine he will. Most British players tend to be fond of it. He's casting the MD42 here. Oh, actually, the Vickers. The MD42 is back at base. Station caught there by the fuel point. Panther 4 around there for Stephenn, adding the panel-mounted MD42. Sniper John's in the front. 12 kills. Zappa, of course, can soon go for the Cromwell tank. Back reinforcement healing, heading through the south here with the Pioneer. North section's routed, falling back in the face of Stephenn's armoured assault. And there goes Zappa with the Cromwell Mark IV tank. Wrecking sandbags. Ground lost some fuel, ground the southern victory point. Stephenn looking to close the gap there, and of course he will need to close it. Bit of quiet here otherwise, as I think Zappa's trying to figure out what to do next. Caught a bit off guard there with some of those losses, and suddenly the arrival of the Panther 4 further puts pressure on Zappa. Stephenn with some air reconnaissance and a Pack 40. Clearly concerned about the possibility of British armour hitting him very hard, or maybe expecting a possible comet here from Zappa. There's a few possibilities as to what Stephenn could be worried about here from Zappa when he goes for a second Pack 40 like that in the centre. Machine gun caught here by the Panther 4. But there you go, 6-pounder going to the rescue. Pushes back the Panther 4, buying Zappa just a bit more breathing room there. Cromwell Mark IV cruiser tank out here for Zappa and the British Army. Zappa's caught here with the Panther 4, 2 kills. So far. Gonna need to try and grab the southern point, but I'm guessing he wants to keep them in heavy cover just in case, but there you go. Cromwell on the move. Facing forwards.
Enemy threatening a capture
Looking
point.
towards the centre. Up north, DB Gatgun is busy there for Deutschland. Reinforcing hitting over Zappa. Nothing further here for Stephenn, guessing another Panther 4 here in Ostwind, or he could also go for the Stug, but I don't think Stephenn feels particularly compelled for the Stug, in particular since he went for a second Pack 40. Shame, but can't really blame him. As for Zappa, we do have the weapon racks unlocked, and we are getting the Bren guns out. That is great for Zappa, less great for Stephenn's infantry. And support. And Stephenn though with the mortar, thumbs up. Could of course gone for the mortar half-track here, but I imagine the priority right now for Stephenn, of course, is more armor. So while he wants artillery of the lighter kind, he doesn't want to spend fuel on it. So, can't fault him for that. Though, again, the mortar half-track I do think is quite handy too, and kind of neat. Ground the southern point. There we go. Gonna add more out for Stephenn. New study, we got the Vickers versus the gun DC. Setting up with the Vickers. Actually, the MD42. I keep mistaking those two because Zappa's come on there. Keep forgetting Bauer, he has an MD42. It's caught with the MD or the Vickers K there. Zappa's moving forward. See for Zappa. Interesting enough, we're not seeing any commandos. I mean, commandos with Bren guns tend to be some quite frightful customers to have to deal with. The Germans, but there you go. Zappa's moving Super Panther 4. Stephenn charging ahead here for Deutschland. University quickly hightailing out there. Cromwell's busy up north. May want to, of course, consider some Piats here to help deal with the German and Panzers. Cromwell is in the north here. Air comes from Stephenn again. MD42 caught, routed here in the flank. Another thing Zappa could also consider besides more weapon racks upgrades there, of course, for his men would be mined. I mean, he's got an incredible amount of munition yet. So far, Zappa isn't considering it, utilizing it at all. You could also go for grenades, but I mean, there's plenty of things here for Zappa to do with the munition. I think actually that's like one of the oversights of this match so far. It's just been Zappa just floating all these munitions, not going for, again, any early upgrades or mines at the very least. That would make it harder, I think, for Stephenn to actually make a comeback, so... Definitely some room for improvement, I think, there for Zappa versus Stephenn. Officers charging on the DC with the Sten guns. Bring another part up close. Panzer IV, though, joins in the fun for Deutschland. Officer will need to retreat before it gets wiped. Really close call there on the officer. Cromwell being fired out by the Pack 40, slowly disengaging. Is Stephenn planning a Tiger tank now, or is he just trying to figure out what Zappa's next move is? Or has he just forgotten he's got a lot of resources? Hard to say here. Unival's carrier narrowly avoids their getting turned into scrap metal there by the Pack, and there you go. Cromwell almost sniped the sniper there with his gun. That was a really close call there for Stephenn. No artillery yet here for Zappa. Would still benefit from like a land matches or mortar of his own, but land matches right now I think could be a bit of a problem for Stephenn. He's gone out there for there. Back at base already. Section was going to DC. Pantomime there we go. Kills two men immediately there with a great shot. High explosive shells there, ripping Thompson and Hammond apart. And there we go. Lewis falls with them into the pixelated afterlife. Cromwell blasting away here. One kill in the south, going for the fuel point here, hitting Zappa's resource income there, where it hurts the most. Again, Zappa's not quite leveraging as much as he can on. The most goes the gun to DC. Is he planning something bigger than a Cromwell? Perhaps a Firefly or something else? We'll have to see here from Zappa. As for Stephenn, resources continue to float. He continues to, well, not really doing anything with it. So it's starting to look like Stephenn is in fact holding up for a Tiger tank. There you go. Tier 4 being researched. Stephenn is not aiming for the Tiger tank. South here can is pushed back by the officer, leading another assault for the British Empire in the centre there. Troops trying to grab the point, instead met with a hailstorm of light machine gun fire here from Stephenn. Their positions are pretty much pointless now, and they have to retreat. Zappa meanwhile is, struggling a bit here with Stephenn now. Can't quite figure out what next to do, and Stephenn calls in another bit of a reconnaissance. No center here for Zappa. Calls me to can't get shooted down. This is also great for Stephenn, as he won't have to deal, of course, with the weight of getting a lot of Luftwaffe pilots killed then. Hands holding pushed back. Back at base here for Zappa, not much else happening. Stephenn, though, very close to the Tiger tank. He has to attack. He almost has a command point. He has the man, but he just needs a bit more fuel. As for Zappa, we do get a mortar in place. We're now going up here for some artillery zone here to match the Germans there and blast them into oblivion. Does feel like he's saving up for something bigger here then. He's still flooding manpower fuel, hasn't gone for anything he can build, so might be a Comet here from Stephenn or a Churchill tank. Both obviously have the merits. Adding the second mortar tube there. Finding Stephenn's position in the south, another push for the victory point, but there we go. Machine gun there ready for Zappa. The MG42. Stephenn very, very close to the Tiger tank here.
Emplacement under attack.
Go. Upgraded mortar and pleasure, getting hit there with the German mortar. Fire calls for the Tiger tank. Steam won't be going for mortar half track, but he could do this soon. Pack taking losses, mortar they're getting hammered still, and there you go. Minor losses inflicted, forcing back the Granatenwerfer team. British Vickers there as the Grenadiers. Tiger tank moving forward here for Stephenn. Adding the Pelham MG42 and Zappa meanwhile. Still hasn't gone for anything there. I imagine though the Tiger tank could cause them to like, this is like the Firefly here, and got the University of the Pack 40. Good kill here for Stephenn on Zappa. Removed another thorn from his side. Victory points wise. Stephenn's also doing a great work closing the gap as Zappa seems a bit paralysed. And there you go. Once he sees the Tiger tank, Zappa's hesitation vanishes. And he immediately starts calling in the Firefly. Whatever he might have planned there is no more, as he focuses on just dealing with the Tiger tank. Good shot there from the 6-pounder gun on the Tiger tank. Panther for the strikes in the center there. Veterans one gain. Cromwell shoots, misses. Firefly there 1/3 of the way down here for Zappa and the British Empire. Another shot there from the 6-pounder gun before it expires.
I'm afraid, quite dead.
TIE tank now pushing forward, trying to crew the anti-tank here. Zappa's rushing forward here, still no Pierce there for Zappa. And he's also floating like an intense amount of munitions. We're talking almost 500. Definitely feel like Zappa here is not utilising his resources efficiently. Like imagine if he'd mined here and Stephenn had run his target tank into the mines, for example. That'd been quite devastating for Stephenn. So the lack of mines here, I think, is probably quite problematic for Zappa or that, just using his munitions in general. Great for Stephenn, of course. Amazing that Zappa's like, you know, not using one of his resources like that, but 6-pounder gun and the machine gun there exterminated. Great kill there for Zappa. Morton players keeps blasting away. They got Vecchi 2, but only 1 kill. Gun now for Salatic, gun is flanking with the north here, forcing him to brace. Firefly here for Zappa, equipped with the 17-pounder gun, of which they did many things to try and cover it. In fact, in some cases, I believe on some Fireflies, they actually tried mounting a smaller 70-pounder gun, or at least decoy gun, on the back of the turret, so that, which is just, you know, right forwards with that one pointing forwards, and then like during fighting, they turn the turret around to then fire the main gun into targets. Yeah, little fun fact there. Maybe it was this. So, anyways, little neat one there. Pants falling ahead here, Mortar firing down death. Firefly with the chill rockets as well. Handful there. Could become the target of the Firefly. Nope. Gets away. Easily at that. North here, Panther going for the section. They're pushing them back. Good kill there.
Enemy causing trouble. Trying to
South Steam and Ultimate got progress there for Deutschland. Quick smoke repairs there, but still floating a lot of munitions. Says he's not even fully upgraded his men, I think. He has at least, but there's still no, say, additional PhD or Bren guns on them, and certainly nothing for the opposite either. Don't feel like that's something that the Zappa could do a bit with. Plus, of course, mines. Or grenades. Like, there's just so many things here Zappa could be doing, but just isn't. Morton plays meanwhile in heavy needed repairs here. Got 3 kills, which is better than no kills, but still looking better off. That's about to go down here. I think to Stephenn's continues mortified TIE tank in the southeast strike set. Zappa on the flank, backed up by rifle grenade, going for deep flank with the rifle grenade. Thumbs up there to Stephenn. Nice over there, machines still abandoned. In the northeast section, pushing forwards, blacking any grenades. Don't think they got quite enough shock element here to do enough versus Stephenn. Air reconnaissance again. Good work there. Zappa could, of course, try and go for another Cromwell here. They may also be tempted to go for another Firefly. Cromwell on the top of the TIE tank at the east. Just reinforcing healing. Morton plate being fixed up here. Zappa remains very much firmly on the defense here versus Stephenn. Struggling here to break Stephenn's stranglehold. He has seemingly in some regards run a bit low on ideas, for now at least. Or he's hoping that Stephenn makes a mistake that Zappa can then, shall say, exploit. Versus Stephenn. It's hard to say. It is very hard to say. I do know some players tend to find themselves in the late game relying heavily on their opponents making mistakes rather than, you know, making any right plays. So it's not impossible that Zappa is just, so to say, kind of in that holding pattern, which is just hoping Stephenn messes up here and he can then punish him. There you go. Good shots on the TIE tank, chilled rockets, 17-pounder gun, ripping through the arm up north of Panther, going for the also play from here, exposing Zappa's northern flank as being very thin and easily pierced. Good play there by Stephenn. It's also say Stephenn is so far playing the match fairly smartly in most regards, despite a rough start. Now there's a bit more in the lead. He's also been, I think, much more sensible in how he's attacking. He's not just pouring everything right through the center. He's constantly probing around here, flanking, looking to catch Zappa in an unfortunate and unfavorable position, and that way, you know, make progress and deal heavy damage. So I would also say fairly smart plays at the Stephenn. Thumbs up to that. And Zappa, meanwhile, just is struggling, I think, to match this and respond to this efficiently here, which, of course, is a further benefit to Stephenn. Stephenn by wait for pop caps. I can't call in more units. He does have a lot of munitions. Could lay down mines. Zappa, meanwhile, still isn't really doing much with his massive load of munitions here versus Stephenn.
We've lost an anti-tank gun.
Anti-tank gun cleared out again. Another great kill there for Stephenn and for Germany. 9th Panzer shown there, bearing down on the 7th Armoured Division. The Desert Rats are certainly caught in the claws of the cat. And could be in for some real trouble soon. He's now with 25 kills. Good shot from the pack on the Cromwell.
We've 100 points left.
100 points left here for Zappa versus Stephenn's 233. There you go, lots of smoke here from Stephenn, disengaged with armor in the face of Zappa's 17-pound air gun wielding Firefly. And now we got Stephenn in the smoke. Top and possible advance here. Thumbs up to Stephenn. Very good there. Good use of smoke tactically is always, I think, a very good skill to have there. So good work by Stephenn. Targeting forts, 9 kills, veterans 1. There's only 3 left points here for Zappa versus Stephenn. Yeah, the match really seems to have gone completely sideways here for Zappa. Completely sideways. Like, he's also at this point kind of forgotten about the Western titles. Early on, he was like pretty good at exploiting this versus Stephenn. He's now gotten so up, caught into the pace in the south by Stephenn that he's just kind of like, fighting increasingly inefficiently, which benefits Stephenn significantly. Zappa charging forwards here. Firefly remains from the sub home to perhaps bait out the Tiger tank. From up north in trouble with the Panther moving in there, closer to on that Panzerkampfwagen. And is caught here routed in the face of Zappa's forces. Tiny, tiny microscopic victory there for him. But he needs to deliver some heavy blows to the Stephenn. He needs to make progress. And needs to catch Stephenn off guard. But so far, but he doesn't quite doing that. Let's got the info for the Cromwell. Air recons again from Stephenn. S-minus by the southern point. Thumbs up to Stephenn. Meanwhile, Zappa is still just floating a lot. We haven't seen any upgrades. Or any, shall we say, commandos or the land matches. Getting up for these for the Pioneer. Pausing healing. Actually firing down. Obviously, they're being ripped apart by the advancing Tiger tank. 10 kills, veterans 1. Shoots misses. Pioneer, that's the Cromwell. Firefly moving ahead here, close to veteran 2. Firefly gaining veteran 2 there. Small bit of progress there for Zappa, but overall the strategy just looking increasingly versus victory points just further depleting here in the face of Stephenn and the German Reich. Good shot from the platform right for the Firefly's armor. Cromwell raising in there. 7 kills, 82. Target weak point there. Almost got the Firefly with that. Really bad news here for Zappa. And there you go. Firefly's down. Cromwell's about to go up in flames as well here. He's got 8 points left. Stephenn with the 233. And with that, Stephenn, I think, has managed a overall hell of a comeback here from an otherwise really tough start here. But he managed to keep his cool here versus Zappa and turn the game around, where Zappa, as the match progressed, and increasingly not in his favor, seemingly just, well, kind of stopped functioning there and sort of lost the game as he just struggled to, adapt to the changing circumstances. So, a nice match here, I think, highlights the power of, again, maneuver, flanking, and such, whereas, again, Zappa, again, also, I think, highlights, in this case, the importance of actually exploiting your advantages when you actually, get a good early game, and I think that's, what Zappa failed to do, no mines, no grenades, weapon racks for its many munitions. I think in this regard, Zappa kind of dropped the ball a bit, which gave, Stephenn what he needs to, push through and turn the game around, and Zappa just, at that stage, tactically just kind of bottomed out there and just didn't know what to do, and so Stephenn was able to just gain the reins and take control here. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell a friend, tell a family, but don't your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Till tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.